The views expressed in the following program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of SAUGA960 AM or its management.
Live from Toronto to the world.
Josh!
This is Josh Holiday Live. Talk that rocks.
The public needs to be informed.
Josh might surprise us.
Got an opinion? Dial 647-6YO-JOSH.
When you hear him, you're like, what?
Josh Holiday Live starts now.
Oh, yes, here we are. It is Josh Holiday Live, and we are live if you're listening on November 19th, shortly after 3 p.m. If you're not listening at that time and you're still hearing me talking in your ear, stop whining. It's not live. Maybe you're listening on a podcast, or maybe you're listening on the repeat of the show that happens on Saturday afternoons here on SAUGA960 AM. How was your week? Was it good, bad, ugly? Mine was aight, as the kids say. If you want to get in touch with the show for any reason, maybe you hear something and it makes you angry, happy, sad, mad, crazy, 647-6YO-JOSH, which is 647-696-5674. I started watching the second season of the documentary series Tiger King. Watched the first episode and then decided, nope. The first was enough. The first one was pretty entertaining. The second one just feels like it's sucking up some fumes, trying to tie up a few loose ends here and there, but it just doesn't have the entertainment value of the first. I also, for the first time since the pandemic began, went to my local coffee shop and sat down. I've gone there pretty much. I go there pretty much every day. I have a latte a day vice. That's my vice, and I guess I'm a typical latte sipping liberal, as they like to say. As an insult, it's just an addiction to espresso. That's all it is. But I hadn't gone into the coffee shop and actually had a seat and stayed there to drink my coffee. I'm still avoiding larger crowds. I'm still not comfortable yet going to, say, a hockey game or a larger event. Even restaurants, I'm still kind of doing the takeout thing. But I did sit down in the coffee shop. And it was nice, although there was a guy in the coffee shop on his cell phone having a loud conversation. It almost felt performative, like he was hoping people would hear. You know, I'm this guy talking, having an attitude, listen to me, blah, blah, blah. I'm the opposite. If someone calls me and I'm sitting in the coffee shop, it's a very small one, and you're kind of not far away from other people. If I'm in there and someone calls, I'm like, hello, hi, I'm in the coffee shop. Yeah, I'll call you later. I can't talk right now. I'm in the coffee shop. I'm almost embarrassed to like answer the phone or talk. And that's not the worst that I've experienced in this same coffee shop. Pre-pandemic, on a regular basis, there would be a lady in there on her laptop having some kind of FaceTime or some kind of Skype conversation, speaking very, very loudly in a language I didn't understand. And I'm not saying I'm, anti other languages, but if you're going to have a loud conversation in a coffee shop, I should at the very least, be able to eavesdrop for my trouble. That's the trade-off. If you want to blab, I get to hear what you're talking about. I would prefer if you didn't, if you'd shut your trap. But if you're going to talk, let me hear. Let me know what's going on. Today, officially, big news day here in Canada and in the United States for very, very different reasons. It was announced today that kids from 5 to 11 in Canada can now get vaccines, which is great news. Despite what you might hear on shows before and after me, vaccines are good. They will help get us back to normal. People not taking the vaccines, anti-vaxxers, are slowing the recovery down. That's common sense. So get your kids vaccinated. People will say, well, kids, they hardly catch the vaccine. They hardly catch COVID. There's very few child deaths. That's not the issue. One child death due to COVID that could have been prevented by a vaccine is one too many. Few child deaths is still not great. It's not good at all. And there are kids who are vulnerable through no fault of their own. They might have some sort of medical malady that makes them more susceptible to the virus. And the other argument is, well, even with the vaccine, you can still spread it. Well, the science says that you're less likely to spread it if you are vaccinated. Plus, you're less likely to catch it if you're vaccinated. And if you don't catch it, you can't spread it. So essentially, the more people that are vaccinated, the slower the spread, and the more likely it is we can get this thing under control and make it so that maybe you get a booster shot once every year, every 2 years. Right now, we're in the fight because not enough people are doing the right thing. Too many selfish people not getting the vaccine. Get your kids vaccinated. Don't be a nut. The anti-vaxxers are the worst. I don't know if you saw on Remembrance Day, November 11th in Vancouver, they were having a very kind of somber Remembrance Day ceremony, and some anti-vax nuts came and interrupted it. It's gross. And I've even noticed in my neighborhood all kinds of anti-vax graffiti. There's no point to that. It's just a mindset of selfishness that drives me crazy. There's a woman who was doing a news report on television, and this anti-vaxxer interrupted her. I'm going to play the audio for that just so you can kind of get a sense of how these people think.
Sorry, I just heard you talking about the safety of vaccines. Vaccines are far from being safe. You need to start doing real journalism here, because you know what? Children are dying. Children are dying, and they have myocarditis coming down. How many sports athletes, young sports athletes, have dropped dead in the last week from these jabs?
Very few.
Far from safe, ma'am. You need to start doing real journalism and real reporting.
Can you please not interrupt me? Well, I'm happy to talk to you, but can you not interrupt me and come on to me like that when I'm on TV?
Oh, I was just standing behind you until you said that they were safe. Stop propaganding. Stop spreading lies. These are not safe. Children are dying. And right now, Health Canada is trying to decide whether to jab our 5 to 11-year-olds. And by you telling everybody it's safe, you're spreading lies and misinformation. How about you get real doctors on CTV and get the real facts? How about you start asking the hard questions?
Cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. That's the mentality of an anti-vaxxer. Get real doctors on. We talked about this, and we've talked about this in weeks past, but the anti-vaxxers seem to want to cling to the outsider doctors. If 1,000,001 doctors are surveyed and 1,000,000 of them say get the vaccine is the best thing we can do to fight this virus, the anti-vaxxer is going to be like, well, there's that one guy who disagrees with the 1,000,000 other experts. Let's listen to him. He must know something they don't. And it's the same thing as the I do my own research crowd. It kind of drives me just a tiny bit crazy. Listen to experts. They are experts for a reason. You're not an expert. All right. I think they should, if you've heard the show before, I'm pro, not just pro-vax, but pro-mandate. There needs to be a stick versus carrot incentive for these laggards to get vaccinated. I think schools, school workers, teachers, people who work in schools should be mandated to get vaccinated. Healthcare workers should all be mandated to get vaccinated. And now I think kids should. Kids already have to have an array of vaccines to go to school. It's already mandated. So why not mandate this one too? What's the harm? Can only help slow the spread of the virus. Another thing that happened this week is Doug Ford dropping the ball again. Not a good premier. Fighting for last place with the premiers of Alberta and Saskatchewan. Now saying that they are going to have symptomatic testing in pharmacies. Shoppers Drug Mart in particular. Which to me seems crazy. Symptomatic. So if you feel like, I have COVID-like symptoms, I'm sick, I may have COVID, Ford is encouraging you to go and get tested at a Shoppers that may have people shopping for groceries, going in to get the vaccine, maybe elderly people waiting to get their flu shot. And they want you, if you have COVID symptoms, to go into that space, get your test, hang around, and see if you have COVID. What could go wrong? Everything. Really, really stupid. And if you follow Twitter, social media, you'll see that there's a huge backlash towards Shoppers Drug Mart. And I'm curious to see, with all that backlash and with people saying they will take their drugstore business to places that don't do symptomatic testing, I'm wondering if Shoppers will backpedal, because it's just a dumb idea all around, which is nothing new for this Ford government. Yeah, it's I go to Shoppers. There's a Shoppers right near me. It's convenient, and I go in there for flu shots and drugs and stuff. And now I'm thinking I may take my prescriptions elsewhere. I don't know. Another thing that's happening this month is perhaps you'll be getting less spam phone calls. Right now, about 25% of all phone calls made on mobile networks in Canada are spam calls. You know the ones. Sometimes it's you've been put up for arrest because you need to pay taxes. Send gift cards. Sometimes it's the Chinese gibberish one that's like that's, I'm sorry, that's a bad impression, but essentially I remember someone translated it for me, and they were trying to get gift cards, essentially asking people for a gift card. So it's a scam, but just in a different language. CRA scam. I've called them back before too, and just to kind of see if I could burn them, but only got to the point where I gave them a fake SIN number, and then they realized. But now the CRTC is encouraging and has actually set a deadline for the end of November to use this system called Stir/Shaken, which will help phone companies identify whether a call is spoofing a number or it's a legitimate a caller, which is good news for me. I think just in general, not just because of the spam calls, but it's very strange how quickly people have gone from chatting on the phone, using the phone, to almost exclusively sending texts. Most of the phone calls, I think, are just catching up with family. Most of the other time, it's sending text, meet me here, or how's it going? Even voicemail. People rarely leave voicemail now because you can just send a text with the same information and someone is more likely to check it than to actually go and listen to the message. Landlines are disappearing. It's got to be hard for telemarketers now, though, because more than 2/3 of people rarely answer their phone if it's from a number they don't recognize. I'm like that. I've ordered food delivery, and the phone rings, and I see it's from like a 613, an Ottawa number, or it says Sudbury, and I don't pick it up, and then it calls again, and then I finally pick it up, and it's the food delivery guy who I guess had recently moved to Toronto from Sudbury or Ottawa and kept the number. You can't really trust it used to be 416, it's from Toronto. 647, it's the suburban Toronto and downtown Toronto. But now you can take your number anywhere. I talked to someone yesterday living in Vancouver with a 647 number right here in Mississauga, Toronto. You can call us. We are live November 19th, Friday, just a bit after 3. 647-6-YO-JOSH. 647-696-5674. But yeah, I very rarely answer the phone. And the stupid thing is that the callers now, for whatever reason, they spoof the call and use the first three digits of your actual number. So say we're here, our number here is 647-696-5674. You might get a call, spam call from 647-696-5677. And I don't know what the mentality of that is. If it's like, oh, well, they're going to think it's someone who lives near them calling. And that's actually, for me, that's more of a dead giveaway. If they're trying so hard to make it look like they're in your neighborhood, that they're using a number that's just adjacent to yours, it's obviously a spam call. Not bright. I was doing a radio show in Calgary, Alberta, and it was a new radio station. It hadn't been on the air before. So it was a brand new from scratch radio station and a brand new radio station phone number. And for whatever reason, the phone number we got received a lot of spam phone calls. People calling about trips and that kind of thing. And I thought it would be amusing or entertaining to answer the call and talk to the lady and give her a story. And this is what that sounded like.
Introducing a new piece.
That's not it. How about this?
Thank you for responding to our holiday promotion. This is Mary, and who am I speaking with?
This is Jorge. How are you?
All right, Jorge, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
All right.
Super.
Now, what I'm going to do here is verify your details. I got to get them pulled up on my screen.
Okay.
So bear with me a couple seconds.
All right. How's your day going so far?
Real good.
Good. Mine's going pretty well. I'm having I'm having a good day. I had a steak for lunch. And
a steak for lunch?
I had a steak. It was the best steak I've had in I can't tell you how many years. It was fantastic. What did you have?
Right.
Have you had lunch yet?
I don't have time to sit down for all three meals, unfortunately.
Right. It's very busy.
Yeah. But have you been to Florida before, Jorge?
I've been once before when I was a child.
Okay, would you enjoy coming back here?
It's hard to say. I mean, when I was there as a child, it was against my will. Basically, we're from
Against your will?
Well, we're from Illinois, and at that point we were living in Illinois, and I was kidnapped as a child, and the kidnappers took me to Florida, and so basically it was most of the time I was in the trunk of a car.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Well, at least I could. How old were you? Real little?
Yeah, probably around 7 or so.
Good Lord. Well, to be honest with you, it'd be real therapeutic to come back here with a good experience.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty terrifying. Like they, I was crying and I tried to run away, so they held me over an alligator pit, an alligator farm.
No, you're joking.
No.
I thought you were joking.
No, not at all. I was terrified. And to this day, I can't, even watching on television, I'll see an alligator in a nature show, and I get cold sweats.
Well, what you need to do then is come down here and go to Gatorland, and you'll get over that real quick.
Oh, I don't know. I would probably pass out if I went to Gatorland.
I doubt it. It's a whole different scenario. That's kind of crazy, but it would be highly therapeutic. How many people do you usually travel with, Jorge, when you take a vacation?
Well, when last time I was in Florida, it was a couple that kidnapped me.
Introducing a new P73 Oregano Gummy. Oregaos gummies from North American Herb & Spice. North American Herb & Spice is the first to introduce a clean gummy infused with P73 oregano oil, a spice oil known for its immune-supporting benefits. It took over 2 years to develop and contains no refined sugars, tapioca syrup, or natural flavors, yet tastes delicious. Made with the only oregano oil for daily use, P73 Oregaos combines black seed oil and Peruvian yacon root syrup, a zero glycemic sweetener that acts as a natural prebiotic. Every hand-picked harvest is triple tested for purity and authenticity. These delicious gummies are perfect for daily use. Order online at oregano.com. OREGANOL. 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 P73 Oregano Gummies from North American Herb & Spice. Order yours today at oregano.com.
Do you work for a delivery app like Uber, Amazon Flex, DoorDash, or others? When was the last time one of those apps treated you like a person? When was the last time you got a raise? Do you find yourself working harder and harder to make less and less? And if you get hurt at work, do the apps have your back? They call you an essential worker, responsible for keeping the city and province safe. Do they treat you like you're essential? You don't have to put up with it. Join hundreds of workers at gigworkersunited.ca and we will organize to change it together. gigworkersunited.ca, because you deserve respect.
The roof over your head protects your home and everything in it. When it's time for repairs or replacement, choose right. Choose better. With over 40 years experience, Better Contracting Services is the GTA's roofing and gutter specialists. Residential or commercial, we do it all, from repairs to replacement. Better Contracting Services are the pros officially endorsed by Mike Holmes. See why when you choose better. Visit bettercontracting.ca for a roof done right. The other guys are good. We're better.
No radio? No problem. Stream us live on SAUGA960am.ca.
Josh Holiday Live is in your ear. You got something to say? Call 647-6YO-JOSH now. On Twitter at Josh Holiday and visit joshholidaylive.com.
Wait for it. It's coming. Soon. There it is. Any song that has a cat growling, a large cat, is good by me. The only thing I think of now is that probably would have been a better song to play when I was talking about the crappy second season of The Tiger King on Netflix, which just came out this week. It is Josh Holiday Live. I am Josh Holiday, and I am live, and so I guess that title is an appropriate one. Although that comes with a caveat. A caveat? A caveat. However you say it. Tomato, tomato, tomato. Don't say it like that. If you're listening and it's about 29 past the top of the hour, a minute before the bottom of the hour, 3:29. The big hand is at the bottom of the clock. The small hand is pointing right. They love to tell you the time on radio. But, if you're listening Friday and it's between 3 and 4, it's live. You can call us. You can chat. Whatever your beef may be, even a minor quibble, we will amplify you. If you're listening at another time, here's the good news. You can still call that number, 647-6-YO-JOSH, and leave a voice message, which we very well may play on this show when we return live 1 week hence. The other thing you can do is send a text message to that same number. Not only will I read the text message, but the next time we start a live show, you will receive a text that lets you know, hey, guess what? The show's live. You can call in now. Like an automatic reminder. It's like a hotel wake-up call, essentially. And if you have a schedule where you wake up around 3 p.m. on Fridays, you could even use it as a wake-up service. You'll get a text saying the show starts, and from your bed, you can sleepily dial the number and chat on the show. It's just that easy, as they say on the television infomercials. In the UK this week, a terminally ill man was arrested after he sped by a speed camera and essentially mooned the camera with his bare ass. He has multiple system atrophy. He's 55-year-old. He mooned the camera, and then the cops showed up and arrested him. It was part of his bucket list that I guess he's made since he was informed he was terminal. And to me, this seems like a pretty mild terminal illness bucket list. I sometimes think about this. If I knew I was going to die, or if I knew the world was going to end, what would I do? What crazy things would I do knowing that? I think not so much on the crazy side. I probably, well, of course I'd still do this show. I mean, I'm not going to give out that kind of money, a huge amount of money we get here. So it would have to revolve around doing this weekly show if I was terminally ill and I had to get to do other stuff on my bucket list. Other things on his bucket list were bungee jumping, parachuting. I've bungee jumped, but I haven't parachuted. And I guess if you know you're that close to death, and the main fear of parachuting is that you will perish, while you perish then why not? I suppose I'd probably live a life more on the edge. Go diving with sharks. Wrestle alligators. But then I do silly things. Because when you have nothing to lose, your inhibitions, I believe, go way down. But I often have bad luck. And I know what would happen if I got a terminal illness diagnosis. I would start doing all kinds of crazy things and get up to mischief. You know, run my car into buildings and essentially be a menace to society. Not in a super criminal, like hurtful way, but more just in a mischievous way. I know what would happen is, after I've done all this stuff and basically embarrassed myself and my family, I would go back to the doctor and they do more tests and they say, well, guess what? You're not terminal anymore. And that's how that would go for me. What about you? If you knew that you only had a certain amount of time to live, you had a terminal illness, and let's say for the sake of the experiment, it's not a degenerative illness where you can't do the things that you might normally do. Let's say you have a year to live, and that's that. What do you do? Give me a call here, 647-6YO-JOSH, and tell me, if you had a year left to live, what would you do? What would you do differently? How would your life change? How would you comport yourself? I sometimes speculate and daydream, and I think, what if everybody in the world knew from birth the actual day and time of their death? Couldn't change it. It's just what it is. How might you live your life differently knowing that that's the deadline? Because I think a lot of times, a lot of people, I know as we get older, I know my given S meter has gone way down, or given F meter has gone way down. You have less F's to give as you get older. I used to, okay, here's something embarrassing and personal. I used to never take a poop in a public washroom. I was always like, oh, I can't, I'm too embarrassed, I'm too shy. Now I'll take a poop in a bathroom with no stall door, basically. I don't care anymore. But I think we would live our lives differently, because a lot of times you have this notion that, well, other people will die, but I'll keep going. And you maybe never get to do the things you wanted to do. But if you knew you had a deadline, you may work toward it. Although, to be fair, I'm an incredible procrastinator, so I would probably wait till the day before my death to try and cram everything in, get everything done. Yeah. Knock on wood, I have my health for now. It is International Men's Day. Speaking of health, men's health more specifically. Dug up some facts on. It's sort of weird that we celebrate International Men's Day, because men have had it pretty good for a long time, but there are certain things where men have it worse than women, especially. 76% of all suicides are men. 85% of the homeless population, men. 70% of homicide victims are men. 92% of workplace deaths are men. That kind of makes sense. In a lot of the more dangerous industries, logging and mining and those types of things, a lot of the workforce is male. 17% of sexual assault victims, though I would hazard to say, in the same way it's said about female sexual assault victims, the number is probably higher based on people being afraid to report, and especially men being reluctant to report sexual assault for fear of I guess, being judged for being preyed on. 40% of domestic abuse victims are male. And the World Health Organization put out some figures as well for International Men's Day. Men have a life expectancy of 71 years at birth, and that is 5 years less than women. And you see that even now. There's a lot more widow. Is there a name for a male widow, or is everyone a widow? That's one thing I do not know. But there's a lot more female widows than there are single men. Some of the diseases and causes of death affect men more than women include tuberculosis, road injuries. Might attribute that to men being slightly more aggressive drivers. Heart disease, stroke, lung cancer, and what they call interpersonal violence, which I don't know what that means. I guess that just means person-to-person violence. I imagine outside the home, because we learned 40% of domestic abuse victims are men. But this isn't a woe is me type situation. There are certainly, if you go on the social media today, there's certainly men who are using this as an excuse to bash women or to assert that men are the dominant race, or why don't women like me? The reason is because you probably don't treat them right. My advice on this International Men's Day is get a colonoscopy if you're of age. They keep lowering it. I think it's maybe it's 45 now. I don't know. But if you're eligible, get it done. Don't wait. A lot of cancers can be treated if caught early and are quite survivable. Get a physical yearly. I know it's hard to find a family doctor, but do your best. Better to find out and be able to stop something than wait and then go in and find you have something that is beyond repair. Get a prostate test. I know it's not nice having, well, maybe it is if it's your thing, but finger in the butt. It's valuable. And look after your mental health as well. If I think there's still quite a large segment of men that are reluctant to seek professional mental health help. Don't hesitate. It's it can be incredibly helpful to have someone to talk to and someone who is trained to get the best out of you and understand what you may be going through. And I've had talk therapy before, and I know when I leave the sessions, I feel a lot better, and I feel like, okay, I can manage. But even if it's just talking to your doctor, if you're feeling not right, if you have even suicidal feelings, don't hesitate. Talk to someone. That's how it's going to get better. As a man, you should occasionally juggle your scrot, bounce those balls around, caress them tenderly in your hands, see if there's anything lumpy. I had a situation, I guess it was during the pandemic, because I know I went to the place with a mask on, but I was sitting in front of the television, just juggling my balls, as guys are wont to do, and I found a lump, which for me, all along I've heard lump equals death. If you have a lump in your testicle, bad things will happen. So I got in touch with my doctor, and he sent me down for some imaging, scan the balls, and I didn't know what to. Sort of a strange thing. If you know you're going to go in and get your genitals scanned, it's hard to figure out how to prepare. I think first of all, I believe I requested that it be a man, just because I'm kind of shy to begin with, and as I've mentioned before, I'm a grower, not a shower. So I'm always kind of shy about that area and strangers looking at it. And the other thing I wondered, because it was during the pandemic and we hadn't seen people, and I wondered, what's the etiquette for trimming the area around there? They're going to be looking at it closely and trying to get a ultrasound thing on there. Do I trim it? Do I shave it? Do I make it bare as a baby's bottom? In this case, I gave it a good trim. And I went in there, and I had sort of forgotten that with the ultrasound, they put a bunch of gel on it. And, of course, the gel was cold. So this man was rubbing cold gel on my nuts. The good news is, though, that it was not a cancer thing, and that it would go away on its own, because it was pretty large, like a small grape, a large pea, a small grape on one of my testes, but it wasn't cancerous, thank God. So get yourself checked, and make sure when you get your annual physical, look at your skin as well. If you see something suspicious, talk about it. I had a situation where on my calf, I did notice kind of a darkish spot, a molish spot that seemed unfamiliar, maybe a little bit new, a new visitor. And I was concerned about it. And then when I had my physical, I got them to check it, sent me to the dermatologist, who took a little sample of it, sent it off, and then went back to the dermatologist, and he said, you have cancer. The good thing was it was early on, and it was stressful because I had to wait like 2 months. It was in the summer, so there's a lot of hospital staff and doctors on holiday, but I had to wait about 2 months to get the area removed. So they took a pretty big chunk because they want to go deep enough to get everything that might possibly be cancerous out. So it looked like I have a apple-sized bite out of the back of my calf. But it's been a couple of years now, and knock on whatever this is. I think it's wood covered in something. Knock, knock, knock. Knock on wood that's it. It's for that. Yeah, so International Men's Day. Take care of yourself, man. Get a massage. I know a guy who works in education, and as part of his health plan can get free massages, but he feels like getting a massage is not a manly thing. And I have to explain that you don't know what you're missing. If you can get free massages, get free massages. Even if it's not free, get a massage. It's great. A great way of relaxing. It's getting close to Christmas, and people often wonder, who are dating, how close to Christmas, how close to the holiday seasons, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, is too close to break up with a significant other. You're with a partner, and you're in a situation where you know you should break up, but we're getting so close to the holidays. Is it inappropriate to let that person go, so to speak? Even in business, I know sometimes HR departments try not to do it around the holidays, but more and more you do see it happening, and it's a little bit depressing. But are you in that situation, or have you been in that situation where you wanted to break up with someone, but instead of doing it before the holidays, you waited until the new year? Did you skimp on a gift because of it? You can give us a call and let us know right here on Newstalk SAUGA960.
This is the final call. Kevin, I'm thinking about adding physical gold to my wealth strategy.
Well, I wouldn't recommend it. It's volatile and it doesn't pay a dividend.
Really, Kevin? Because I've researched gold, and it actually has averaged over 10% per year since 2002. That's a lot more return than I'm getting with you.
But you're going to pay storage fees. And how are you going to sell it?
Actually, it's easy to store, and it costs less than your yearly management fee. And I found out through Delta Harbor Assets that buying and selling happens on a phone call. Plus, I can take it home if I want to.
Have you ever thought about owning physical gold or silver and been told it's a bad idea? Thank goodness for Delta Harbor Assets. Delta Harbor will put you first. With Delta Harbor Assets, you can discover how owning physical gold and silver could protect your financial future and cost your pocket less. Go to deltaharbor.com, where it's all about you. That's Harbor with a U, because it's all about you.
Sorry, Kevin, but I want to do things my way. I'm heading to Delta Harbor.
If you think the bank statement has anything to do with a financial institution, or the walls of Jericho is a place in the Middle East, or the 24-inch pythons are actual snakes, you need to tune in Saturdays at 9 p.m. for the GTA's newest pro wrestling show, Ringside Heat. Join me, Lex Tan, each week as the Ringside Heat Roundtable and me break down the big events from around the world of pro wrestling. We cover them all, including WWE, AEW, Impact Wrestling, and much more. And if you have something to say, and all true wrestling fans do, you will have an opportunity to reach out to us and join the conversation. Every Saturday at 9 p.m. from Parts Unknown, Ringside Heat will just bring it, only on SAUGA960 AM. Be there.
There are no shortcuts to building wealth today. It takes time, effort, sacrifice, and diversification. But today, diversification means something different than it did in the past. You deserve a more secure way to protect and grow your wealth. At Delta Harbor, we take this to heart. Our mission is to help by inviting you to add physical gold and silver to your wealth strategy. Book a free consultation today and let us show you how to protect and grow your wealth through the ownership of physical gold and silver. Let us show you the Delta difference.
No radio? No problem. Stream us live on SAUGA960am.ca.
You got something bugging you? You need to vent? This is your unfiltered megaphone. Dial 647-6-YO-JOSH now to be heard. Talk that rocks. Josh Holiday Live.
Can you beat the B-52s? Especially those first two albums. I played the crap out of that yellow one when I was a kid, a very little kid. It was one of my very first records. Played it in the basement over and over and over and over again. Red album, good too. That's where that song's from, Private Idaho. It is Josh Holiday Live. We are live for another not very many more minutes. The clock is winding down. So if you have been sitting by the phone waiting, hemming and hawing about calling, now's the time. 647-6-YO-JOSH is the telephone number. 647-696-5674. And the good thing is, even if you're not hearing this live, if you're hearing this at any time, you can call that number and leave a message, a voicemail. We will play on the show. We were talking before the break about the breakup window. How close to Christmas is too close to break up with a significant other. Have you ever broken up with someone close to Christmas? Maybe it was even to avoid having to buy a gift. A similar thing I think happens around Valentine's Day, where it's like you maybe break up because you know that the holidays are coming and you're going to spend time with the family, and if that's happening when in the back of your head you know that these people are you're going to disappoint them very, very soon, it may be a good time to break up now rather than later. I don't think I've ever had a Christmas breakup. I've certainly in relationships, in a couple of instances, looking back, should have broken up probably 6 months earlier than I did. And that's on me. Not good. But I have been fired before the holidays. That's no fun. Especially this time of year when it's so damn dark. Whew. I think it was the first week of December. And it was not a happy time, not a happy Christmas. At least if you get fired in the summer, it's warm and you can kind of get out and try and forget about it. But getting fired around the holidays is, oh my God, it's depressing. You don't have a lot going on in the December, between the beginning of December and Christmas. Things are pretty quiet, both work-wise and social-wise, and you kind of just want to put your head in a pillow. Not and kill yourself necessarily, but just to lie down for a long time. This is Josh Holiday Live, and we are live every Friday starting at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you're listening in a different time zone in the GTA here. The number is open 24 hours a day for you to call, and you can also text that number anytime. And there's two benefits to that. A, you can actually write a text and I'll read it, get your message. But the other good part about that is when the show goes live again next Friday at 3, you'll receive a text saying, hey, guess what? Live show. Join in. Give us a call. I'm also on most of the social media things. I think because I'm a geezer, I'm still not yet on TikTok. But if you go to SAUGA960am.ca under this show's name, Josh Holiday Live, you can see a little bar there that has all the socials, the emails, the Twitter, the Instagram, the Facebook, the website. It's all on there. You can also go on the podcast page at SAUGA960am.ca and find the previous 5 episodes of this monster of a show. And I'd love to hear from you. You can email me as well. Josh@joshholiday.com. Though I have 2 L's in holiday, so you're probably better going to the website, joshholiday.com, and emailing through there. Because if you go joshholiday.com with 2 L's or 1 L, you'll get to the same place. It's amazing how that works. But for now, I bid you adieu, and I hope you have yourself a fantastic week. And let's chat again a week hence.
Turn on the lights, open the shades.
The show's over, but the conversation continues. On Twitter at Josh Holiday, on the web at joshholidaylive.com, and hear missed episodes on your favorite podcatcher. Talk that rocks. Josh Holiday Live.
needs to be informed.
Josh might surprise us.
Got an opinion? Dial 647-6-YO-JOSH.
When you hear him, you're like, what?
Josh Holiday Live starts missed episodes on your favorite podcatcher.